else wants to join us, what I want to do is kind of like really get you to reflect on a few things. I want to say hello, hear from you a little bit, where you're at, what you're kind of bringing forward, and kind of some of the things that are themes or things that are kind of popping up for you right now. And you feel like you kind of like, you want to utilize this energy, and you want to really kind of affirm something new you're bringing into this new energy or your way forward. I want to sort of like hold some space around this, but I also want to do a little bit of like energy work around, particularly working with theta energy, which I personally really love. It's a little bit like hypnosis, not quite, but it's really sort of affirming these new kind of in the state of affirmations or kind of new intentions that you hold and you kind of want to bring forward in your life as we're moving forward. Yeah. Hi there, Amanda. Welcome, and lovely to see you. And just to kind of really say, I'm not an astrologer. I love receiving astrological updates, but I'm an energy reader, for those of you who don't know, and a psychic healer. I've been through all my life, and particularly more actively in a working capacity over the last 14 years. Before that, I worked in mental health, domestic violence, and disabilities, and working with vulnerable people with complex needs. So I have that background. But as an energy reader, what I can say with the energies of the Lion's Gate is that I love hearing about that stuff. But even though as a psychic healer, I'm a little bit skeptical. I've been really amazed to see, particularly last year, some of the shifts I've experienced from just allowing myself to vibe with the energy, do a little meditation. I've experienced some real amazing shifts. So sometimes it can be worth really playing around and giving ourselves an opportunity to really consciously engage with the energy that's coming through. And you never know the effect it can have, right? But the main thing you need to know about the Lion's Gate is that it really is an astrological phenomenon where the star of Sirius aligns with the zodiac of Leo, right, which is in August, and the energies that kind of really tend to that align tend to open up this portal of really incredible energy pouring through to a planet. And also it's connected with if you're into numerology, number 8 is to do with wealth, with luck, with basically really good energy. And it's about transcending our limitations, transcending a predicament, limiting beliefs, things that kind of essentially can hold us back. And I really want to make this a very practical session. I want you to become clear. I want you to kind of create a little bit of a space where you get a little bit of a reflection. So here's what I want to ask you. And I want to go around and hear from each and every one of you. Over this last year, if you look back, for me, it's been particularly the month of July that's come to the surface. And I'm really glad it's come to the surface. Something will have come up, or you will have noticed a particular pattern or a particular thing or a situation that you feel for some reason, it might have been there way before this last year, but for some reason, it's more of a, like there's a ripeness to address there. There's a ripeness in like you feeling, okay, I need to do something about it. This is no longer serving me, or I'm really ready for this next thing. And we have a bunch of stuff. We're always working with ourselves. We're always evolving. But this particular thing, I want you to kind of tell me what you feel when it comes to you reflecting back in your life. And it could be both on a personal level. I want it to be like what's more meaty for you right now, as well as on a professional level, right? So if you look back into this last year, and even if it kind of extends way before this past year, if you were to name it, if you were to kind of get honest with yourselves and really have a bit of a look around and get to be honest with yourself, tell me, could you identify something that feels as a prominent theme for you right now? That you feel, right, okay, you know what? I've been on the sort of like outskirts with this issue for a while, or I've toyed with this but never did anything around it, or this seems to be coming up as a bit of a pattern, and again I let it sit around a bit. So I want you to kind of like, that's the first thing, is naming it, recognizing it. Right now, it doesn't have to be huge, but it could be something also that feels a little bit bigger, you know. It could be something smaller, or it could come up either as a frustration, or it could come up as this really deep desire, deep motivation, a deep like, right, I'm really excited to move towards this, right? So it doesn't have to be like necessarily this, like kind of necessarily negative. But for me, to give you an example, and it felt quite meaty for me personally, back in July, I had an experience where it kind of brought up a bit of an awareness of an abandonment wound that I haven't fully healed, that I felt like I had done a lot of work in, but it came up as a particular memory that it's very interesting from my early life as a little girl. And I felt, oh, this is interesting. And I got very excited because when you find something meaty, you want to do something about it, right? And I feel like I've actually working with a regression therapist on a session to look into this, because I'm like really want to get to the bottom of it. So for me, this memory and what it brought forward for me is one of those things. And on another level, right now, I feel I'm on this threshold where my business is about to like really blow up. And I feel like it's been growing consistently, but I feel like I'm in this threshold where things are just going to happen, right? And I've been really preparing for it. And what the invitation there for me has been to create, because I work a lot with creating safety. I work with the particular modality around creating such deep safety for our growth, so that it feels like almost like a no-brainer, and it really allows us to kind of move into this space of growth in a way that just feels a lot more easeful, right? As opposed to that sort of like struggle. And so those are the two things. It's about really that desire to really create that space for me, not just for my clients, when now it feels like I just allow myself to get off that cliff. You know what I mean? So I want to now go around and hear from you. Again, as I said, it can come, whatever those intentions or those niggles or those desires or those frustrations are, you can experience, and the mother is coming through as a drive, as a kind of motivation, or as a little bit of frustration. So if you were to go around, what are you picking up? If you feel like you want to share, of course, right? Lisa, because I know we connected first, do you want to share a little bit more? Tell us what you do and what you're working with right now, what you feel is coming to the surface for you.
Yeah, thanks. I just, is it Samaya? Sorry,
Yes, yeah.
Samaya, you have that right.
Got it right.
Literally just logged in a second ago. So, I have a huge thing, which is that around May last year, I made the third attempt to leave, a difficult marriage. I have had a monumental year where we did sell the family home. I've bought my own home. I've been working very hard in the last 15 months or so to create, I'm a coach and trainer and a former nurse. Been working very hard over the last 15 months to create training programs for employers on how they can support their employees experiencing domestic abuse. I've worked really, really hard on it. I've traveled to the UK twice, and it hasn't really gained any traction. Surprise, surprise, because nobody wants to talk about it. But I'm really determined. It really is my passion. One of my passions, a big one. And funny, my business has gone awfully quiet in the last 2 months because I was moving house. My daughter had surgery. There was lots happening. And over the weekend, I had a couple of moments where I woke up and thought, what am I going to do? Come on, let's go get some income generated. But I also want to make a difference. I don't want to go out and get a job. I want to make a difference.
Sure.
And this morning, so about an hour ago, somebody sent me a link. This morning, the Irish government have announced that they're going to give employees they're going to give them entitlement to paid leave for 5 days of domestic violence leave per year, which is absolutely monumentally supportive.
Can you also see, it's wonderful. From having worked in this sort of area of work, back in before I started my business, actually, I know how significant it is, Can you also see how that creates more of a portal for you to come as an educator and speak to those organizations to anchor this? So in a way, can you see like the Lionsgate portal already is opening up to possibilities? It's like now it's almost like they will probably need to ground this and land this in the workspace in a way, almost like, tick that box for them. So there's an opportunity here for you to use that, work with that information really wisely, and kind of almost create like, a sort of curriculum around this so that
That's
people
it. I mean,
are
I'm
educated.
already, I've been ready for it, and I've been waiting for this announcement to sort of jump
Amazing,
on it and say, this is what we need. And I cannot believe it happened on the 8th of the 8th in Lionsgate. And when
amazing.
as I said to Samaya, I've loads going on. I've 16 tabs open behind you that I'm going, oh my God, I need to get out there and tell people about my programs that are ready to go. And then I thought, no, just cool it now, because this could really explode. This is what I've been waiting for, and I need to
And
be
this is the
ready.
thing, there's such a thing as divine timing, and
Yeah.
alignment is important. I work as an alignment coach, right? Alignment is important, but the alignment is not just about you with your work. It's also about alignment within the particular situation you're stepping into, the industry you're working in, the people you're working with, and that alignment, sometimes we can't obviously force it. It's not like you placing more effort. It's about really letting those pieces fall together and come together. And then you adjust with that. So that sounds wonderful. Tell me now, what moving forward with the, like, I guess, kind of affirming these new energies, like, and you stepping into this space powerfully. If you were to use a statement, right, as an affirmation and as a mantra, as to what you're anchoring now moving forward, what like in your work and your personal life, what do you feel you want to see more of?
I definitely want to step up and be braver myself and put myself out there and stop holding back
Okay, so if
on
you were
this
to
to
use
make it
the
available.
phrase, yeah, it is safe for me to receive or to enjoy or to have, if you were to start the phrase like this, how would you finish it?
I'm safe to speak up. I'm safe to,
About what?
oh gosh, about domestic violence and how people can be the leader people can't wait to work for. That's my tagline in my business. Be the
Because you
leader people
said
can't wait to work
you're a
for.
leadership. It's funny because Leslie actually
Yes, I
is
see
also
that.
a
Yeah.
leadership coach too.
Yeah.
So we've got two leadership coaches, and isn't
Yeah.
it interesting? The line is all about is the leader, right? Is the leader
And
of.
my business is Aslan Coaching.
Now here's the thing. What I want you. What is it called?
Aslan Coaching. It's not actually named after the lion, but Aslan was the lion in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
You're joking. Oh my
Mm.
goodness, that's incredible. That's lovely. Okay, so is it safe for me to speak about it is safe. How about it is safe for me to share my message? Because your
Yes.
message evolves, right?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And I want you to, whilst we do this kind of theta meditation, I want you to bring in any other for your personal life in your own mind, to bring in any other things. You can revisit it actually with, I think it's probably best to stick to one thing because it's going to unfold a visualization process for each of you. So it's best to stick to one thing, revisit it. You have the recording, revisit it and do it for other affirmations, other things you're trying to anchor as well. I love this so much, Lisa, and it sounds to me like an opening for some big changes in your work, just through this legislation alone. I think you've got the perfect portal for that.
On this day, I just cannot
Perfect.
believe it happened on this
Perfect.
day. I've been waiting so long. It's just astonishing. That's why I said I had to come here.
But it's interesting because you also have the totem of the animal. They hold really powerful signatures, and you have the totem of the lion in a way symbolically in your business as well. So it might seem like a coincidence, but
No.
thank you so much for
Thank
sharing.
you.
It's lovely to meet you as well.
You too.
Who would like to go next, Leslie or Ellen? Who feels more comfortable? I know Leslie, I know Ellen, I don't know. So whoever wants to go first, I don't want to put anyone on the spot. It can be really useful to kind of just claim it though, openly to in a space of other people, especially in today's energy. So go ahead.
I can go. So I have really been stepping out of the corporate, can we call it training?
Yeah.
Corporate mentality, that corporate type of environment. I mean, I spent 30 years within that environment. So and things that have been, for the past 50 years have been easy for me, have not been easy for me because I know I'm supposed to be doing something else, right? So so this last year has really been discovery for me as to, who I am, who I want to support, what the message is that I'm actually helping, or that I'm actually sharing, which is, I love that. It is safe for me to share my message, and really narrowing down the people that I actually really love to support. And there's some health stuff that's coming up as well. And I am 100% certain that they are actually linked to each other, my business as well as the health aspects that I'm working with. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. So I was really glad to see that you were doing this.
No, it's
today.
fantastic to have you here, actually. So if you were to share, if you were to come up with this, for this particular one, with your mantra for this year, and I want it to feel personal to you, obviously, whatever we're creating. And the process will kind of elaborate, that I'm going to take you through is going to get you to elaborate energetically more, to make a deeper connection to this, whatever the mission is for you, whatever it is you're anchoring more of. But if you were to like use this mantra, I use my mantras daily. Like I have different ones coming up, I need the most. And what they do is they just bring another level of safety back, and a reminder it's okay to desire the things that you desire. And not only it's okay, it's the thing we are here for. So I use the phrase, it is good and safe, you know, that it is good, because we have a quite particular response to good, you know, it is safe and good to want to share my message. But then we're going to really blow it up. We're going to really get it to explode, so that you really step into that energy when we're sort of during the meditation. Yeah. And it's going to take us about 20 minutes. So what would you say, Leslie, for you, your mantra?
I would say it is good and safe to allow myself to be seen.
Yes, I think right now that feels very, I do work with Leslie, so I think that definitely feels in alignment to you right now. And remember that mantras can kind of incrementally shift and change as we work with new little issues. It's so much more helpful to tackle exactly what's the most immediate, the thing that's really ripe for us to, you know, because it brings us out of our shell, you know. So it is safe and good for me to be seen.
To allow myself to be seen and heard.
Yeah, I love also that you use that word, that you understand it is about you allowing it, as opposed to people don't want to see you, right?
Yeah.
To allow myself to
kind of remove the veil that I have worn.
Yeah, especially,
like ever.
You know, absolutely. Seen and heard in my work. Yeah. So especially coming out of the corporate, where it's just like so much like layers of masks being worn, right? And in a way, you're not being asked to lead from that place of authenticity and of who you are, which is essentially kind of what it's about. So kind of the deconditioning, removing conditioning around this is a process. And essentially, in a way, it's the kind of focus of your work as well now, isn't it? Kind of really getting people through the rabbit hole. I really love this mantra. I think it's really great. And thank you for that, Leslie. And Ellen, would you like to, I know we haven't met. How did you hear about this? Is it through my group or somebody else?
Yeah, someone told me about this a while ago. So I've been on your mailing list for a little while.
Lovely. Oh, yes. So you got it on the mailing list. Lovely.
Yeah.
So tell us, lovely to meet you, Ellen. Where are you based at the moment?
I'm in London, in East London.
I used to live in East London. Whereabouts?
In Bethnal Green.
I used to live in Bethnal Green.
Hey.
That's the Buddhist place where I was for 10 years of my life. I lived and worked in the Buddhist center, you know?
Oh, wow. That's just, 3 minutes down the road from me.
Crazy coincidence. Ellen, tell me, what is it that at the moment that you feel you're working towards?
I don't know. I mean, listening to the other two is really inspiring and got me thinking. I mean, immediately when I joined and thinking about the gateway, just what came to me immediately was sort of female empowerment. I don't know why, that just sort of came to me. And I work as a coach, and I do energy work as well. So I'm an associate coach, but that work seems to be quietening down a bit, and I want to get back to seeing private clients and doing. I'm a Reiki practitioner, so doing Reiki and coaching. I used to do that but yeah, to sort of see private clients again would be good for me. So I'm thinking that that's probably part of it, but something a bit less tangible about female empowerment. I can't put my finger on it. But
so can I help you get kind of a little grounded a little bit more so that you have even more of a powerful kind of thing with it? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, okay, first.
So because from what you shared, I wonder if it's a little bit about kind of that sort of energy of like courage and like trust and safety in stepping into you, kind of bringing back your work in the world in a very personal way through, but integrating your coaching and your healing and everything. I mean, I work as a coach who does healing is the primary thing of my work as well. But it's like, so do you think it's something about stepping in powerfully or kind of feeling kind of courageous to kind of do this work and step out to bring it back into the world? And really, is that about that, or?
I don't know. It's something about trusting the world to do what I want. I think I've fought again. I've been sort of pushing in the past. I've been pushing to try and make things happen, and it doesn't work out the way I'd like it to happen. And so I get a bit frightened. And so it's just trusting that the world will be kind and do what I'd like it to do.
So trusting that the world will receive you with kindness, or trusting that they will love what you have to offer. What would you say? Is it to hear your message or to receive your gifts?
I don't know. It's just like trusting that things will happen that things will happen, that I'm not going to put in effort for no reason.
So it's kind of, that things will happen. Yeah. So often when it comes to like, it can be kind of really helpful to kind of in the process, and you don't have to do it here, to really kind of dig a little bit deeper around that stuff. You know, what is it that really I want safety around, you know? So in a way, it feels like there's a few kind of things flying around with it. And I totally get this thing about trusting, you know, the trust is a primary core kind of desire and feeling. But it can kind of get us to kind of want to explore a few different things. What is the lack of trust that I experienced so far? You talked a little bit about maybe timing or things not quite panning out when you've put effort. Because the truth is, as you probably all know, and I certainly experienced that, things don't kick off necessarily like that, but that's not necessarily meant to be a reflection of you. It's just that the process might be different to what we expected. But sometimes we can take it a little bit too personally. And it's just that things need we need a bit of some time and sometimes space holding to really allow ourselves to come into that deeper alignment. And in a way, like, you know, ladies, what it's like when we run our own businesses, it's the biggest self-development course ever. Like, it's a real kind of process. It's not just about putting a thing together, putting it out in the world. It's going to be a process around this. So I wonder if that trust is a trust with self as well, trusting in yourself, as well as, you know, if you want to create this phrase, then what would you say? It is safe and good for
me to be in the world.
Okay. If you want to be specific with the being in the world, because to be honest, either you trust it or not, you're in the world already anyway.
Yeah,
So
I suppose the world is
I hope you understand. I mean, well, with digging in a little bit deeper is what I do for my work, and I really believe in this process. That's why I'm getting in there. So if you were to be more specific about, because you are in the world, either if you like it or not, you're here.
Yeah,
you have to deal with it anyway.
I suppose that I can work in partnership with the world.
Mm-hmm.
That the world is safe and friendly.
Yeah.
And I can create.
Create feels like a trigger word, and I feel it's a really good one. Do you see why I was doing this? I really felt we needed to dig a little bit deeper. Create is the thing. I feel you've nailed it. Okay, let's put it down. It is safe and good for me to create in the world.
Yeah, and that's why it's, today's workshop really sort of spoke to me, because I feel like it feels like the right timing to create and to bring things into being.
And to affirm this intention that actually, I don't know how things pan out. I've been let down before. I've been whatever. It didn't always work out. But I know that I want to still create. And I know that I want to trust myself, and I want to trust the world that is able to receive me whilst I'm creating. I think that's a really beautiful affirmation. And I think it's a really good, you can tell these affirmations are essentially also intentions. All right. So we're working with intention, and today's a powerful energy to work with this. So anything else before we start that you want to share, ladies? You're good to go? Okay. How are you feeling right now? Also, and you don't need to share with me, but there's a reason why I'm asking you this. All right. Because we're going to check now. We're going to check at the end of this process. And I want you to tell me, to think about in yourself right now. You don't need to even share with me. In relation to what you shared, creating in the world, allowing yourself to be seen and heard in your work, as well as speaking and sharing your message. Right now, from 0 to 10, where 0 is not much and 10 is 100% yes, how safe and good do you feel around doing those things in relation to your mantra? Just get a sense intuitively what the number comes up. You don't need to think too much about it. Just get a sense and make a mental note or write it down. We're going to see how you feel by the end of this session. And I want you to, I'm going to send you the recording. You're going to give me, connect with me online. I'm going to send you the recording. I want you to feel free to repeat it as much as you want. And I'll also want you to repeat it for other things that you might want, right? That you might be anchoring. Okay, so you made a mental note of this or written note? Okay, cool. So let's just see how that pans out later. And ladies, all I want you now is to just relax. I want you to just make yourselves comfortable in your seat. And when you do, just find a place where you really do feel comfortable and you know that you'll be okay for the next 20 minutes. If you need to not be seen in camera, you can sort of deactivate your camera if you want, whatever you feel more comfortable. And just make sure you allow yourselves to be present. And I want you to close your eyes. So Lisa, if you can take a moment to not write or do anything, because we want to so I want you to just make yourself, is that your comfortable positioning? Okay, good. Sorry, I didn't realize. I thought you were ready for action. And maybe you are. This is the thing. So I want you to close your eyes, all of you. And just allow yourselves to just take a moment to be present right now. Okay. As you're breathing in and out. And as you're breathing in and out, I want you to take a moment to just see what it's like being you right now. Just breathing in and out. And really kind of allow yourself to be fully present in this moment as much as you can. And call your name 3 times. As you're calling your name, you're bringing all the energies back to you, anywhere that they might be floating around in the house or whatever. You're just bringing yourself back into the space right now. And really feel the support under your feet, the ground holding you and creating that safety. I think it's interesting. We're all working with the energy of safety. Really allow yourself to be supported, knowing that the earth is fully supporting you right now. And really setting the intention to make the most of the energies coming through the line portal today, and just kind of making that declaration within your minds, in your mind, just saying, I'm ready to receive all the blessings, all the support. I'm open and ready to receive Beautiful. And just see what happens to your body as you do that. Our body has a capacity, and our energy has a capacity to receive up to a point. We're just going to like maximize that a little bit more today. So I want you to visualize yourselves walking towards a staircase that's going downwards, because the further down we go, the more we relax our energy body. There's 10 steps, and I want you to step on the first step on top, step number 10. Just slowly going down to step number 9. And as you're going down, I want you to visualize and feel your energy. Feel your energy just really dropping and becoming quieter. And just see your energy relaxing, going to step number 8. Your body and your energy feels heavier. Step number 6. Step number 5. You might feel your eyelids a lot heavier now. You're getting into a deeper space, deeper state of being, a bit closer to your unconscious. Step number 4. Going to step number 3, 2, and 1. And now you find your energy being fully relaxed and in full receiving mode. Beautiful. And I want you to now bring into awareness your mantras. It is safe and good. It is safe and good for me to share my message. It is safe and good to allow myself to be seen and heard in my work. It is safe and good for me to create in the world. And letting that sit in your energy field, see what that feels like right now. And as you experiencing this, I want you to now visualize a space and a world where those conditions are fully supported. So depending what you share, see what it's like to right now, you have a bunch of people really enjoying receiving your message, seeing what you have to share with them. You see a space where just creation feels fun, it feels joyful, it feels easeful. Not only that, but you feel like the more you do that, you see really positive and benevolent things happening. Like you start experiencing yourself in more flow. You start opening up to opportunities where people ask to have your message shared, maybe speak to a podcast, or you coming across opportunities where creating feels even more easy, more fun. You find yourself new possibilities opening up and new opportunities that just don't feel that hard to receive at all. If anything, they feel comfortable, they feel easeful. And see what that feels like to receive right now. These people, all these people receiving you, all these people enjoying you, all that part of the creative process feeling robust, feeling joyful, feeling creative. Beautiful. And I want you to now to elaborate a little bit more in it with this. So on the basis of your mantra, I want you to now see how people are being impacted as you get to share your message and you get to be seen for your message. I want you to see how people are being impacted by receiving your beautiful creative work, either in the form of creative projects or a business or a program that you run. See what happens when people not only are receiving it openly, but they're really starting to benefit and enjoy the results of your message, your work. Notice when they're having those aha moments where a light bulb goes on. I can't believe how useful this is for me right now. Hearing them say that. I can't believe that I didn't know that I could experience this, or that I could bring that into my company, or that this healing has this effect on me, and that this was available to me. Just seeing them being so grateful for receiving your gifts right now. And just seeing the ripple effect. And then not only that, but the effect that this knowledge has on them. The effects and the results of your creative work, of your message, is starting to open up doors for them. Missing pieces of the puzzle are coming together. They start to relax a lot more now because they are connected to insights, wisdom, results of your work, of your creative projects, of your message. Not only that, they now want to talk to other people about the effect that has had on them. Taking deep breaths as you do that. I want you to watch this and witness this. And as you do so, I want you to continue to breathe in and out, and letting every cell and every electron of your body really just recalibrate with that information, that what you share and who you are and what you create is powerful. Let your energy bodies really receive this fully. So much so that it's hard to unsee it, and it's hard to going back to believing anything different. So, seeing your work as this seed, I want you to now take that seed of your message, of your work, of who you are, the seed of you. And I want you to look at this landscape all around you. You're in this beautiful nature space, beautiful landscape. I want you to notice what is happening in this beautiful landscape. You might see trees or a garden. I want you to notice what the weather is like. Take a moment to really receive all the scents from all these beautiful flowers. See the fruit on the trees if there's any. If there's water, there might be a waterfall there, or a lake or a river. Hearing the sound. I want you to take all this in and then find a spot with some fertile ground under. Could be next to a lake or a tree or wherever you feel drawn to go. I want you to get to the place holding a sprout, because your message, your creative work, your programs, your mentorships, they are now this seed that has already sprouted. that you have already seen it delivers results. And that has given sprout to the seed. So that makes it really beautifully ripe and ready to be planted. And I want you to just go and plant it somewhere. Under the tree or next to a bush or a flower. Just as if you're planting just another flower. And you're tending to your garden. Beautiful, well done. So you just want to plant it deep enough and give it enough space around it because it's going to grow beautifully. Not only because you know it has already sprouted, but because you're planting this in the most beautiful fertile ground, supported by all the beings of the spirit realm, all the elementals, and your own personal intention for it to grow. Now, I want you to now put some water on it. The thing that happens in the spirit world, some of you already having that the flower is the flower of this particular thing that you planted is already coming out. The thing about the spirit realm, it doesn't work in the way that the physical realm does. So it works quicker and it doesn't get to abide to our own personal laws, human laws. So things could grow a lot faster. I want you to see what happens when you've planted that seed. Some might need more time, that's totally fine. And I want you to now ask it, what does it need from you? And see what you receive. Just make a mental note. What do you need from me to grow and flourish? If something doesn't make sense, ask yet another questions to clarify. What do you mean by that? How am I meant to do that? Or what do I need to do for this to be possible? Or what do I need to work on so that becomes easier? Beautiful. I want you to sit for a couple of minutes just meditating next to your seed and just being with it. Breathing in and out. Knowing the seed is receiving the most beautiful sunshine. It's in really beautifully fertile ground. It has the best conditions to thrive and grow. And it's going to keep on growing as it needs to. Just breathing in and out. And as you do so now, I want you to go a little bit bigger with your vision, a little bit deeper. You've already had these beautiful results, the few people that you saw responding to your message, to your work, your program. Seeing people cheering you for the things that you're creating, being excited about what that is doing and giving them, the insights, the wisdom, the understanding, the healing, the support. I want you to now visualize this expanding to another 50 people. Only because that seed is so powerful now that you've planted it, and it grows so much and so well that it takes a life of its own. Not only the people that had contact with you are now sharing about you, but now more people energetically are drawn to who you are and what you're putting out in the world. So you don't have to work so hard when you're letting the fertility of the seed and the flower is growing into do its own work. The flower doesn't need to tell the bees where it is. The bees are just going there. This is how it is with your clients. This is how it is with the people that are to be blessed by your message, by your work, by all these different people and companies. And see what happens to your nervous system and your body when you know it's all coming to you as it needs to. Seeing those 50 people turn into 100 people, benefiting and being blessed by your message, by your work, by your programs. And it magnifies over and over again. Keeps on turning into 1,000. I want you to see and visualize lights all around the planet Earth, lighting up every time they receive the blessing of working with you or receiving your information, seeing different lights popping all around the planet, knowing those lights that are popping up and switching on. You don't need to know the how, the why, and how you're necessarily going to do it, but you just know it's through what you're creating. You don't need to know the know-how right now, but see it reaching out, turning those lights on, and seeing the vibration shift. Every time that light turns on, the vibration shifts, it opens up. Beautiful. Seeing what happens on your body and your energy. And then really allowing this to be set in automation. So with energetic automation, we just don't need to do that much other than just let the ripple continue. But at the same time, I want you to see yourself in that space of showing up. See yourself being seen. It could be in a stage of people, or it could be online through sharing your messages that are reaching out tons of people on a newsletter. It could be just through people coming into your program, just seeing that spreading through. So still seeing yourself in the position of creating, of talking, speaking, being heard, visiting companies and organizations, sharing that information with them, spreading that light. And at times, there's more water going into the seed, more sunshine, there's moments of rest, there's moments of replenishing. It's all fine. Beautiful. And when you get tired or you feel, gosh, I've expanded too much, a lot is happening here, you can feel you can come back to your place, you can rest, knowing that the entity of your your message, your programs, your business, your creations, they are an entity of their own. Yes, they're an extension of your energy, but they have their own energy. They've become an entity of their own. So as you planted the seed and it does its own thing now, you won't always have to be 100% actively doing things for the growth. It's doing it by itself. So you're surrendering your energy in this. Coming back to you. Taking a rest. And then, more importantly, letting the goodness of all that's being shared and being expanded in, then let yourself be in the receiving end of it. Almost like you are another person receiving your good message, your work, your creations. So allow yourself now to receive it too. What does that feel like? Knowing that this work is blessing and is creating all this expansion. Now you're on the receiving end of it. Allow yourself to enjoy it. Allowing yourself to benefit from it. Seeing your energy feel better, more wholesome, more grounded. And visualize and notice all the money. Notice how your bank account now is shifting and changing. All this money is coming through because so many people have been benefiting from what you do. And the money keeps on coming up and coming up and coming up. And all these notifications of payments are in your account are coming through. And you're just on a bit of a roll with it. And you know the money's coming because you are exchanging them with the energy of your work and your message. As you share, you receive. As you're breathing in, you receive the money. As you're breathing out, you give your services. That's how it works. We need both the breathing in and breathing out. Otherwise, it doesn't work. It's the same with your business. You're breathing in and you're breathing out. As you breathe in, you receive all this abundance, all this money, all these contracts, all these feedback and the beautiful testimonials and the love notes from your clients, the opportunities, possibilities, the creative ideas and inspirations. You're receiving them by breathing in and breathing out. You keep on giving what you're good at. And in a moment, we're going to bring this to a close. I just want you to, as you're seated there by your seed, take a look at the colors. If you've seen anything popping out, you might have, you might not have yet, you might not have been ready. Just see if there's any colors or any scent. Making a mental note. If you receive a specific message or what it needs from you, just letting it know that you will do what you need to in order to continue to help it grow. And just making that intention. So taking that last moment to do what you need before you start going up the stairs, going back to the staircase to go up this time, to come back into the space. You might feel drawn to go and put your hands or wash your face in the water by the lake, or pick up a stone from the space, grab a fruit from the tree. Allow yourself to interact with the space that you can revisit at any time. Keep up from where you left off, or start from a completely new place. And then just when you're ready, you can start making your way back to this beautiful staircase. As you're going to be going up the steps, you're going to be coming slowly and gradually back up into your conscious mind. You're going to feel lighter. Your body's going to feel more energetic. Your awareness is going to be coming back up again. So stepping 1, and 2, going up slowly, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Beautiful. So walk up the corridor. And I want you to slowly and gradually now just kind of wiggle your feet and your toes. Move your hands a bit, your fingers. And really just allow yourself to come back fully into the space. Just giving yourself a moment. And I'd love to hear from you. How you found this? Also, particularly if you've got a particular message from your seed that you would like to share. You might have sort of like shared with you something important about what you need to bring, what it's asking you to show up in, Lisa, would you like to go?
Sure, yeah. Well, I don't know if I have a message yet, but I was just really struck by a couple of the metaphors you used. The flower with the bee, attracted to it. But particularly, you brought me to a meadow, and my flower was kind of orange and purple, and sunny sky, and abundant, and there was loads of metaphors, and that was absolutely lovely. So I think the message is just I think the safety of it happening, and the relaxation, and I love that breathing in abundance and breathing out service. Yeah,
we need both. We can't live without breathing in and out, and it's such a foundational part of our kind of existence on a planet. So in a way, if we could see it, that the breathing in and out, it's almost like that exchange that happens in the natural way of things, in everything. Why do we expect that we're going to be breathing out all the time? And we can't sustain ourselves if we can't breathe in. That abundance and receiving is that part of that natural law of existing and thriving,
Yeah, it was lovely. You're gifted. Thank you very much. It's
you're
lovely
very
place to go.
You're very welcome. So anybody else who wants to share?
I'm very happy that we're getting the recording so I can actually do that again, because I kind of it's morning for me. So I'm happy about that. And what I got was like the image of this seedling kind of sprouting through the ground. It was green, so it's small, which is good. And the words that kind of came to mind there were tending, love, and compassion.
I've got the love. I got the theme. Somebody was getting love as part of the thing as well. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Does this resonate for you? Does it feel like, oh yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of allowing myself to be who I am. Can I say supposed to be?
Yeah.
who I'm actually.
Who you actually are, and you're remembering, if anything, right?
Yeah. Remembering who I am and what I have to share, because it's important, and allowing myself to do so, and being brave enough to go forward in that area, because
I love it.
Quite a departure from what I had done before, working with spiritual women. So yeah,
I love that. And ladies, I want you to check in with yourself before I forget. What's the number you're getting from 0 to 10 in relation to that, the affirmation you've put right now? Does it feel the same number from 0 to 10? How do I feel around that sort of safety and that being good, me creating in the world, or me, sharing and being seen in the world, or sharing a message? Excuse me. I want you to see, do you see a little bit of a difference in the number?
I see a jump of 2 on my side. So, and once I do it again, then it will be better.
It will be even better. Absolutely. Incrementally, kind of like creating that safety is about incremental small growth sometimes, but before you know it, things can like be very, very different, you know. And Ellen, what would you like to share? What was it like for you?
Yeah, thank you very much. It was really lovely. And I mean, what was striking to me is that walking down the stairs and into this landscape, the landscape I saw was, it was quite shocking actually. It wasn't the sort of a landscape I'd normally think of. It was a real sort of a desert almost, quite arid. It was like a red sandy ground and just the odd tree, and so I didn't know where we were going with this, but of course it wasn't the right ground to plant a seed. So at the beginning
it wasn't.
Pack in, and then the message the seedling gave to me is, these are not the right conditions. So up I took my seed to a much greener, pleasant place where the sun was shining.
Yes.
Water, so that was my message.
And does it make sense? And I wonder also if there was a bit of that past kind of regressing back to what you experienced so far as well. Because, you know, the thing is, this is all a very organic process, our growth. We think that it's about us forcing it, but we have the natural conditions to support it. And where we plant the seeds are totally important, right? So that can be such a simple thing to realize sometimes, but it's so important, right? That actually the conditions need to be right, because however much love, support we give it, if the soil is not fertile, then what are we doing? You know, we're not going to give it the best conditions to thrive. And just having the insight and the wisdom to be able to notice that, I think it's really important for anything to grow. And then it becomes a matter of just being open to, how can I continue creating the right conditions, and how can I keep on feeding it and creating, giving it the right thing for it to grow. And that is essentially what this is about. I found myself, when I made a transition, when things were not working out so much in my business, creating this more organic approach to it really helped things tremendously, especially if we're stepping out of like trauma-based productivity ways of being, where we're pushing and pushing. And that was definitely not the fertile conditions. So I really love that. I really love that. Did any of you were able to see your flower already coming out?
Yeah, so when I moved it to the fertile ground, it was a really amazing plant. I don't know if you know the children's story with the Lorax and the Truffula trees. I don't know if you have it's a Dr. Seuss book, and trees are just sort of incredible, strange trees. And whenever I see a strange plant, I often call this a Truffula tree. It's a very sort of a fluffy pink, odd, but sort of attractive plant. Unique.
I love that. And what I want to share about this is that what we see happening in those realms where we dive deep into the right conditions, and when we quiet the kind of conscious mind, right, and how we kind of see what happens externally, is that we actually get to be with the truth of our inner being and the truth of the situation. And I was really shocked one day when I first started doing this work, seeing like, I felt like things were a bit barren in my life once upon a time, and remember visiting this kind of realm and realizing there was nothing barren actually, and growth was happening, and it was a lot more kind of good conditions. And I realized I just don't connect enough with this, you know. And this was a reminder that I need to make that connection, because the thing that you need to know, and we're going to go after this, is that, guys, everything grounds first into that realm first before it manifests in the physical. Everything manifests first on the spiritual plane. So a connection with this plane, either through visualization or theta hypnosis or whatever, is what really creates the right conditions. But it's going to be it becomes more difficult when we disconnect from it. Does it make sense? So it really is about understanding that support has been there all along. We just haven't always like opened up the door to receiving that help. Yeah, does it make sense? And that what we might think in our mind might tells us it might take a long time. You saw the plant already growing, right? So already there's something to work with there. So you need to let the osmosis now. You need to let the bees to come, and you need to work creatively with this process. So, ladies, it's been a real joy. I don't know if anybody has anything else to share before we go. Are you good? Or yeah, please message me in Facebook or wherever just to give you the link. I'm going to download it. I'm not going to do it immediately. I'm going to go and get some food, but message me and I will send you the link, and feel free to do this process. It's been such a lovely thing. I did not let other people come in because I didn't feel it was right in the middle of doing this process. If they had come from the beginning, I would let them through. But sending lots of love. It's been really lovely to meet you all. But make sure you connect with me either through the email or through Facebook so I can send you the link.
Thank you so much.
You take
Thank
care.
you.
Have a beautiful day. Bye.
You too. Bye.